Joe Thuney extended OTAs start today. We got a lot to talk about. NFL rule changes as well. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on this absolutely horrendous day in Chicago. It is 48 degrees and raining. It is May 20th, and I am voting to move this entire operation somewhere else. Word.
That is not the energy we need.
No, it is the energy.
No, you.
And I left my umbrella on the train this morning.
Wow.
Wow.
Now that's bad.
Energy sucks. Also, Steven, please have the quiet Carm graphic ready to go. Katie discovered that late in yesterday's show. We are definitely fighting today.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. You know, today, for somebody who literally is having the greatest day in Bears history, the fact that you're in this level of a mood because of the weather is really disappointing.
Who's having the greatest day in Bears history?
You are the mayor of the Joe Thuney fan club. He got his extension. You've been watching this guy since North Carolina State. You begged for him to be a Bear back in 2020. You told me before the show. You screamed at me when I didn't realize the greatness of Joe Thuney. And today, you got Joe Thuney. I mean, I compared it, not to take us behind the scenes too far, but I compared it to like Hoge's been chasing the hot girl in high school, didn't get her in high school, didn't get her in college. She also got married and then got divorced, had a couple of kids. But after that, she realized that you were the guy. Now, that wouldn't work with you. You're a beautifully married man and all these things. But that's where you got Thuney.
It's a football marriage.
This is the football for you. You got him. You got your Pro Bowler at the time with the Caleb. This is your day.
We're going to squeeze three more
umbrellas.
Well, it's dark out, and it's I
All
want
see
it to be summer.
Thuney sunshine. It's shining down on you.
We literally get like 3 months in between the draft and the football season. Like, can we just have the weather be nice? That's all I ask. I don't need extensions or all this. No, in all seriousness, Joe Thuney extended. These guys did a great emergency pod this morning on it.
Good job, Greg.
We did it.
Yeah, Steven produced, and
Hot time.
Carm has gone from never watching Joe Thuney to declaring this the greatest extension in franchise history. I'm proud of you.
So I got yelled at by Hoge when I walked in today. I did not call it the greatest extension.
I know you did.
I said that it's a very logical thing. It's you know there's just certain Bears fans or certain football fans who like to pontificate like they are experts on interior line play, and I have a little bit of a skepticism that you've actually watched these interior linemen play the way you talk that you're this expert. Now, you, on the other hand, I believe.
I am not an expert in interior line play, by the way. What I am is somebody who has watched Joe Thuney since he was at North Carolina State, and the Bears really realistically probably couldn't have gotten him in 2020, but he was a free agent, and he was somebody that, when the Chiefs got him, I was like, that's a great deal. And when the Bears traded for him, that's a great deal, and they needed to extend him. The thing I don't understand about this whole thing are, like, the people, like, there were, like, some people in the media, too, that were, like, worried that they weren't going to extend Joe Thuney. And that never made sense to me. Like, because there was some I told you so's this morning. Like, the Bears finally did what I said they should do. And it's like, guys, this is a two-way street. If you're Joe Thuney, you need to move your family, which I don't even know if they've done or not, but, get settled here. You've played your entire career with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, and now you're here in Chicago where they lost 10 straight games last year. Like, you want to get your bearings straight and make sure this is the place you want to be, which they've done a little bit during the offseason program. OTAs start today. Ryan Poles gives them a little bit of a raise, some guaranteed money, lowers the cap hit for this year. You send it over to Joe's camp. They're on board. Done. Like, this is just a common sense thing.
But that's my point to it of why it's encouraging, because Joe Thuney was traded here. He didn't choose to come to Chicago. So while it made a lot of sense on the Bears side of things, did it make sense for Joe Thuney? And so them having to have a feeling out period from the moment that they traded for him to now, where they've seen a little bit of Ben Johnson, he's seen a little bit of Caleb Williams in the offense, and for him to say, yeah, I was with the Patriots and with the Chiefs. I did block for Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to stay here for 3 years at the back end of my career. Who knows if he gets another contract in the NFL? I'm sure he could, but he is, getting older. So for him, that's encouraging to me. I have no idea. You can say money, but Joe Thuney can get paid anywhere. He's an all-pro, and yes, the security of where your family is important, but screwing around with a team that lost 10 games in a row, I'm sure at first he wanted to have some assurances from what the Bears can prove to him. So from my standpoint, without being in that building and knowing why he chose this, I think their tea leaves are encouraging to me.
I mean, if he had called me up, if Thuney had taken the time to call me, I would have told him, hey, I get it. Ben's super exciting and Caleb's super talented, and there's a lot of good dudes in the room, and I like the locker room. But if I were you, I would kind of at least go through one training camp before signing an extension if you think you're going to be healthy. Just see how it actually works out, because we are the champions of the offseason. We do this every year, and it might feel really good now. But let me tell you something. When the season starts around here, it doesn't feel that great a lot of the time. So I would slow the brakes personally if you're actually trying to win another Super Bowl. But, Joe's a little bit more seasoned than I am. In theory, he certainly shouldn't need the money. This guy signed a 5-year contract for $80 million before this one. He should be set. His kids should be set. His kids should be set. And Braggs' kids that are not related to Thuney's kids should also be set with the amount of money he's made. But that being said, another $33.5 million guaranteed in the kitties. That's not a bad day for the Thuney family.
Did you just break some news there?
I did. Braggs is distantly related to Thuney. He just doesn't know.
You're
also
right.
said he has multiple kids.
Well, he has one kid. I'm assuming that he's kids, and
Greg has one kid.
I have one kid.
You said Braggs' kids. I didn't know he had another kid.
No,
I thought you knew something that Steven and I did not.
Maybe
Greg did not.
Steven is my child.
Do you have any? Oh, there you go.
Oh, no.
But to your point, no, Joe Thuney doesn't need the money. Tom Pelissero tweeted earlier, Joe Thuney will turn 33 during the season, and if he plays out this deal, he will have made more cash than any guard in NFL history. But he's still, yes, he doesn't need the money, but he's still a winner. He's only missed the playoffs one time in his entire career. Won multiple Super Bowls with two of the greatest players in NFL history. So for me, like I said before, to say I want to stay here to finish out my career potentially, I like that.
Yeah. Hey, Cornell Bryant.
Cornell, how do you guys know Thuney's financial situation?
He's made $80 million.
How many? And by the way, I'm not. Yeah, but how many players have we seen go completely broke 5 years after they're retired?
Listen, if that's what's happening, and he needs.
I'm not saying that's the case,
gamble.
but you guys are making some assumptions here. I'm not
I am making that
I'm not going to begrudge
accusing-
anybody who's like, I could double the amount of guaranteed money in my last 2 years in the league.
I'm not begrudging it either. I'm just saying that, assuming that he's not a complete moron with his money and he's done reasonable things, he doesn't need the dough. And I'm saying that if I was him and I want to win, I would like to see how this thing starts operating before I sign an extension.
You think he lost a lot of money on the ponies? Is that what it is?
I mean, it's entirely possible.
The Preakness was very exciting.
Preakness was wild.
If he didn't have journalism, maybe he needed, maybe that's why. Yeah. Maybe because of the finish with journalism, winning the Preakness, he had to sign a contract real quick.
It's possible. It's possible. Maybe bet $80 million on journalism to win.
Well, then he's got a lot of money.
Good.
Oh, journalism won.
Journalism won.
Who was the favorite that lost?
I don't know.
Journalism was a favorite, and he won.
Oh, that was the Preakness, but he lost the Derby.
Yes.
So maybe put $80 million on the Derby on journalism. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It's possible.
He still came in second.
Regardless, that was a fantastic finish, and I'm not even a horse racing guy. I could appreciate that.
Carm definitely watched it.
I just don't get like
He squeezed
you
between two
keep
horses.
bringing up like, okay, I'll have the skepticism because others won't, and because none of us here are offensive line experts, and
I'm not skeptical of him at all.
Okay,
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
just trying to be clear with this.
I'm not. I had no problem
Steven.
with the trade. They absolutely needed him.
Oh, thank you. Can you take the camera? I'm doing this for a reason. Can you ISO Greg?
Why?
Okay. And then slowly pan over to the right, to his left, the whatever he's drinking,
Yeah,
and what's on top of the drink.
it's my gum.
That's kind of an elite move. I would do that.
It's an elite move. I didn't feel like
It's
eating
on the
it.
camera. It's in the shot, though.
See,
This is an unbelievable.
What?
What?
I put the gum on top of the cap, so
What-
I didn't have to swallow it.
See what?
You guys make fun of me about
I will
swallowing the
say
gum.
that-
This time I didn't swallow the gum.
You are making progress. I
See?
will say, you instead of swallowing the gum to start the show, you have
You
resorted
just
to
high-fived me with the hand that I used to take
Oh.
the gum out of my mouth and put it on the cap.
Just use a garbage can.
Well, I couldn't. It's time to start the show. What, Emma? Emma, can you throw this away for me? Okay.
Now, the elite move would have been you take the gum, you put it on the inside of the cap. That way you don't want to put it on the outside where people's hands have been.
No, I figured this would be more
Yeah,
entertaining.
you know what? Whatever's coming out of your mouth is worse than whatever was on their hands.
What I think is also interesting is that the color of my shirt is the color of Greg's gum, so I'm kind of matching his.
Also, let me see the drink real quick. As gross as it is with the gum, let me see it.
Body armor.
Let me see it.
Fruit punch. Zero
Carm,
sugar.
hand it over here.
Oh, you want the whole thing?
I didn't realize I had to do
You
that.
just got
There you
Ebola.
go, buddy.
We're gonna scan it.
Okay.
39 out of 100.
Yeah, this is horrible for you.
No, it's not.
Horrible.
No, it's not.
Anything
It's
that
got
says zero sugar
zero
is bad for you.
sugar,
It's bad.
electrolytes, antioxidants, vitamins,
I love
A,
this.
C, and E, B vitamins.
It's bad.
No, it's
Body
fine.
armor fruit punch is not what we're looking for.
No, it's
we
fine.
have healthy stuff for you.
I've been drinking waters. I got a water in my bag.
There you go. We're trying to get Greg healthy out there in CHGO Bears Podcast land because we're worried about him. But we love him, and we want him to be the best Greg he can be.
Mm-hmm. So you're not skeptical of it because you did start the show saying with Joe Thuney that like as Hoge was hyping it up, and you were like, "Okay, I'll be the skeptic." But now
I
you're
was
saying-
no.
Well, here's
you're-
what you'd always do with these
no, no, no,
contracts.
no, no,
What's
no.
the worst case scenario?
Let me answer his question first. I'm skeptical.
Same question.
I'm skeptical of Bears fans who act like they're Joe Thuney experts when he played for New England and Kansas City, and I highly doubt that you were breaking down his left guard play.
here's
That's
what-
all I'm saying.
Okay,
That-
but my
and-
point to that is, it's not like Bears fans where they're like trying to oversell you Coleman Shelton. You're talking about a guy that's an
they
all
do that
pro-
too.
But I get that, and that would be warranted skepticism. This is a
you're right.
all pro
Absolutely right.
from.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. 100%. Which is
Right.
why I'm not skeptical of him. I just
You don't have to watch Joe Thuney tape. Nobody in our chat has to be a Joe Thuney expert to know when you bring in an all pro left guard.
Steven, am I taking crazy pills? Or should we not know who the all-pro guard is on the two dynasties?
I'm just saying
we've
you don't-
watched over
I'm
the
just-
last- No, this is about Carm, not you.
I'm just saying anybody in our chat. You don't have to be a film expert on Joe Thuney to know that an all pro guard coming from the Chiefs.
I know, but that's my point too. Like Carm's acting like this guy played for the Bengals, then he moved on to the Titans.
All right, but slow down. Not
I-
everybody watches the game that way, and you don't have to like
I
be
understand. But
dialed in on the left guard of the Chiefs just because they're on national TV every game.
if
Like, I
I
get that aspect from him.
thank
You guys all knew who Trey Smith was this year.
yes, but again, I'm not. This is a little bit of a nuanced little something in here. Everybody likes to jump up and down when they do a signing, and I'd like to get a little bit more in the weeds before we completely, go down.
Well, why don't you do that with Jonah Jackson?
We have done that with Jonah Jackson.
We should.
We
get
talked
the
about the
weeds.
fact that he played 4 games. We talked about the fact that they gave up a 6th round pick, and also I like to lean on when there is a player of the Joe Thuney ilk. I like to lean on somebody like you, Hoge, who, at least at the start, before I do my extensive deep dive, brilliant research and watch him dominate, which I've done, and okay, I get it. But in the moment, like it doesn't matter This is a guy, when they signed him, traded for him, he's 32. Most football players don't play till they're 42. The Chiefs are a great organization. They're choosing to move on from him. I thought it was at least worthy of trying to do some level of, does he still have it, before everybody went crazy for him, so that was, I just like a little bit more of an investigation into why he became available. I think that's a worthy endeavor to try to fully figure it out before. And then you have all these people that are, I guess, have been watching Joe Thuney every day and knew it was fine. That's fine.
And then when we had our pre-show meeting, it was one of those moments where it was like the show before the show, because we were having somewhat around this kind of a conversation. And then Adam Hoge proceeded to do a Dominique Wilkins windmill dunk on Carm's head about how stupid he is. Like, it was fantastic.
And then I made brilliant
And then I
points.
was mad because I wasted it in the pre-show meeting. I should have done it on the show.
Listen.
Should I do it again?
Try it.
Go back and watch the breaking news pod. I'll do it again. I think bringing in Joe Thuney into this locker room, into that offensive line room, was extremely needed. We were screaming for it all last year. Who's the leader on the offensive line?
Okay, just stop. Should they have extended him or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is this investigation about?
It's like I'm talking to myself.
It is sometimes.
Yes.
Because you're saying both things.
I'm not.
You just said there needs to be an investigation on why he was available.
He said initially, though.
Initially.
Okay. We did that.
His investigative
No, we didn't.
work.
We 1,000% did. They franchised Trey Smith. They had cap. They were up against the cap because they're a really good team, and they had to let one of them go. So it makes the most sense if you are the Super Bowl dynasty Kansas City Chiefs to let the oldest guy in the offensive line go, even if he's an all-pro, because you are allowed to live in that world as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
This wasn't the Tennessee Titans doing it. It was the Kansas City freaking Chiefs. That's why he was let go. End of conversation.
Fair enough. On the surface, that all makes sense. And in the moment, I just wanted to do a little bit of a under the surface. Sure, he's the
So
oldest
did you
guy.
find anything?
No, I haven't found anything.
Okay.
The
Well,
guy's
keep
great.
digging.
The guy's great. Great extension. That's why I started the show. This should be Sunshine Day. This dude over here, who now you're all on this side, which is totally fine. Stay on his side. He's sitting there complaining about umbrellas and the rain. I'm sitting here wanting to have the Tootie celebration. I wanted to be dancing around the set. Instead, I became the heel. It's all right. Go Joe Thuney. Go Bears. Do the ad.
When I get done with this show today, I am going to head over to
Sunnyside
Cannabis Dispensaries, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer if it ever comes. Your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Check them out. Wrigleyville, River North, all over. Go to the Burbs. Go down to Champaign. Go to South Beloit. Sunnyside has you covered. And if you're a pro, they also got you covered because they got, like I said, 100 strains on the menu. New ones added daily. So visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys. Not rainy buys. Bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
So when Joe Thuney buys Flus' house because he's got all the money in the world to live the dream, he should call up our friends at Empire Today. You know why? Because they will give you and everybody else the home floor advantage. That's right. Empire Today, the flooring experts coming right out to you, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring. Brags, you need an upgrade, get involved. Why is Empire Today your best bet for the new floor? Because they live, they breathe it, and they come to you. That's right. Again, home floor advantage. They're going to do the measurements in your house. They're going to show you how the floors are going to look right in your space. There's just the level that you got to put in, the effort, it's zero. Empire Today, clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing, and if you're in a hurry, you can schedule the installation as soon as the next day. A lot of time, if you're buying a house, you need to do the floors. Time is of the essence. Next day, boom, Empire Today right on top of it. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are better at home. CHGO listeners, you get a $350 discount when you use the promo code CHGO. You heard that right. $350 discount with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details.
All right, it's time to take the temp. Today we are taking the temp on Bears OTAs, which is brought to you by your trusted local experts, Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. The Bears getting underway. Again, just a quick explanation that doesn't really matter, but sometimes people want to hear this. OTAs, off-season training activities. Really, it gets most commonly referred to the actual practices they can now have on the field, which start today. So they've had the off-season program going on, phase 1, phase 2. This is the beginning of phase 3, where they can actually get out there in helmets, have a practice, still no pads, obviously, until training camp, but the coaches can be out there, have a full practice with the team. So that's what starts today. Tomorrow, we will be out there to watch OTAs. We are allowed to see basically one a week, with the exception of veteran minicamp, which is mandatory. That's the part where you can get fined if you don't show up. That's a 3-day period where we get to see all 3 days. So we get one OTA this week, we get one OTA next week, and then the following week is the mandatory minicamp. And then it sounds like they're doing what the Bears did last year, which is another OTA after that, which may or may not be rookie only, because I think they did that last year. They made it just an extra week for the rookies. Regardless, here's what I'm watching in OTAs. Got the top 5 things that I am watching in OTAs. We're going to start with this. Caleb Williams. I don't need you to go out there looking like an MVP, but we're talking 7-on-7. We're talking about the offense having the edge. Let's just keep the ball off the ground as much as possible. I'm not saying it needs to be perfect, but if we start seeing way too many incompletions in an offense that's going to be highly prioritized to have completions in Ben Johnson's system, let's see those in 7-on-7.
Why would you say the offense has the edge early? I thought it was the defense.
Because there's no pass rush. That's training camp you're thinking of.
Okay.
When the pads go on and we always say the defense has the advantage. When it's 7-on-7 and there's no pass rush, just complete the pass.
Last year in 7-on-7, it was not good. He was running out of bounds all the time. To Hoge's, what he's watching, I'll be paying attention to that. I know my turn's coming, but that'll be part of him keeping the ball in receiver, tight ends, whoever's hands.
Number 2, left tackle competition. Reminder, this will start sans Braxton Jones, who's still recovering from his injury from last year. So what does this rotation look like? Is it Karan Amagaji getting the first team reps? Is it Ozzie Trapillo? Again, I'm more interested in what the rotation looks like, who's getting the reps, kind of gives you an idea who's favored. Certainly does not tell you necessarily the results. You can get somewhat of an idea of the movement skills, maybe how comfortable Ozzie Trapillo looks. This time last year, we didn't get to see Karan Amagaji in the offseason because he was still recovering from his injury coming out of Yale. So just in general, who's getting what reps, how they look, what pads aren't on. So we're not making any grand conclusions. To take you back a couple years, though, it was June when we realized Braxton Jones, this 5th-round pick out of Southern Utah, was working with the ones. And he was your starting left tackle. So there are some things you can glean from this. Number 3, overall competitiveness. This is going to apply to both the players and coaches. I have a feeling we're going to see fireworks with this coaching staff competing against each other. A lot of smack talk going back and forth. I want to see how quickly that is installed in these OTAs. Don't necessarily have to have pads this time of year. Well, you can't have pads this time of year, but you can still get an idea for how competitive these practices will be and how hard the players are actually buying in and going, even though there aren't pads. Number 4, a little bit more specific. the 2023 draft class. So I'm talking guys like Darnell Wright, but probably even more so Tyreek Stevenson. Terrell Smith is in there, although was he 2024? No, he was the same year, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the same year. And Javon Dexter.
No, not Noah Sewell.
Sewell's in there.
Yeah, Sewell's in there. Yep.
Yeah. Roshan Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys. A lot of guys in this draft class that really kind of face improve-it years. Not necessarily Darnell Wright, obviously. We're wondering Darnell Wright if he can elevate, to potentially being like a blue tier right tackle. It's more so the other guys that weren't in the first round. Focus level, competitive level. Remember, it's a new coaching staff. Every time you have a turnover in coaching staff, they see you differently. They might use you differently. Just we'll be keeping an eye on all of that in OTAs.
Third years for Tyler and Roshan and Jervon. And suppose you could throw Zach Pickens in there too.
I think Pickens is probably on his way out, but
yeah.
Sure, you can throw him in there too. And then number 5 on my list, the Sam linebacker competition. How quickly can Ruben Hippolyte
Good one.
get ascend? I think they like him. I think he fits this prototype that Dennis Allen's looking for. Wouldn't shock me if he rises up above a Noah Sewell, Amen Agbangbamiga, who's probably more ideally set as your special teamer backup at that spot. So that's just another spot of competition I will be watching closely. Obviously, if Colston Loveland was closer to being healthy, that would be on my list too of like how the tight ends are used. But reminder, he's not going to be out there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Good list, Ho. Good list. You want to go next, Gregory, or should I go?
You should go.
All right. So my top 5. Well, one, let's start at the running backs. I'm just going to there's a lot of competition in that room. What's the body language of the Manung guy versus Roshan Johnson? How's DeAndre Swift looking? What's that whole room feel like? Plus, watching them, that means you get to watch Eric Bieniemy. So I will have my eyes on the running backs a lot because Eric Bieniemy is by far the most entertaining thing that you have when you're watching the Bears practice right now. So I start with the running backs. Number 2, look, nobody's better at OTAs than Hoge. The guy literally shoos away reporters who want to talk to him about life. He's like, no. I got stuff to do. So the Hoge presence and what Hoge's taking, a lot of times I'm peering over him because there's a lot to look at here. And Hoge's got his eyes in the right place. Eyes are key. You know that for corners. It's also true for reporters. So Hoge, you get number 2 on this list because you do a great OTA. Number 3,
thank you.
Even I'm not going to say more important, but maybe a little bit more important than winning football games. Montez Sweat. Rough year last year, not on the field. I've heard about this great offseason that he's had. It's more so just, does he look, is he doing everything physically? Does he look like the Montez Sweat that the Bears went and traded for? I think Montez Sweat, his success this year is paramount to the Bears' success. So a guy that I will definitely have my eyes on. Number 4 on this elite Carm list is attendance. This is not a mandatory thing. Who's here? Is Jalen Johnson making himself available? Montez Sweat doesn't have to be here either. None of these guys have to be here. So, attendance and also I'm going to throw attitude under the A there. And then we'll throw an I. We'll throw intensity. Let's see how.
Careful, you're turning into Matt Eberflus here.
AAI. Attitude.
AAI is not HITS.
Attendance, attitude, intensity.
Any other?
And the ball.
And Hoge. H. Look, we need an upgrade in the professionalism. There's put the P in there. So let's see all of that in effect. And then last but not least, I mean, look, it's been a big offseason. The dude cut the flowing locks.
The hips principle. It's the hips principle.
It is.
Or the haps.
I
gotta get the A in
this
there.
whole Bajan look. I got to settle into it, so I'm going to have to be paying attention. I'm going to see how it flows, when he takes the helmet off. Does he get matted down? There's a lot of things going on there. I saw somebody in the chat put a good one in there, and I will be paying extra attention there too. Karan Amagaji, how you moving? How you looking? How you feeling? What do you smell like? Let's go. Amagaji matters. So I want a stinky. Oh my God, Joe! I want somebody sweating big time. We need massive healthiness that you walk off the field and you don't look like you just came out of the shower. Last year, everything you just stood there all the day because he wasn't healthy. Didn't need a shower. I want the guy to need a shower at the end of this thing. I am rooting for Karan. Karan's a great dude. I want a nice, smelly, non-gum chewing Amagaji. Thank you. You're up, Greg.
Oh, boy. All right. That's a good way to finish. Hard to follow up. But I do have an important list here for what I'll be watching for at OTAs tomorrow. It also happens to be our amazing producer's birthday, Stephen Nicholas. So we will be at Medina Country Club, compliments of our guy Sam, who came to our trip on London. So these are the 5 things that I'll be looking for.
Thanks for the invite,
at
Sam.
OTAs. That is
Sam.
number 1 is hole number 14 at Medina. It's known for its strategic layout, featuring a blind tee shot. Are you listening, Steven? Better get ready, Mr. Triple Bogey. And a fairway bunker on the top right of the ridge. Course knowledge is crucial for navigating this hole. Number 2, hole 16. It's a par 4. This dogleg right par 4 is a demanding hole that requires precision and strategy. This is my turn with a challenging approach, shot over the edge. So you gotta be careful with the water there. Number 3 is hole 12. It's a par 4. This hole is often highlighted for its challenging approach shot to an elevated green with a steep shaved slope. Falling off to the right towards a pond, making one of the most difficult shots on the course. Number 4, hole number 18, a par 4. This finishing hole on the new course, number 3, is a short par 4 that plays over the water, making it a challenging conclusion to the round. And then, of course, number 5, hole 17, a par 3. This is another finishing hole on the new course of number 3, a short par 3 that also crosses water off a unique and memorable experience. So that is what me and Steven will be watching for at OTAs tomorrow while we are at Medina playing golf.
Yeah.
Steven, I just sent you a photo that, an actual scouting report of one of the holes that might help you if you guys want.
Well, if it's the weather app, then that's probably the biggest scouting report for tomorrow.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
It doesn't look great. So this might have been the ultimate jinx right here. Sam was nice enough to invite us out here for it, and definitely worried about the rain, but we can't control that. So we can only control what we're going to control, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Boy, it would be a shame if the rain just...
Yeah, it would be a shame. What's going to happen to you guys out at House Hall?
Let me finish my sentence. I was going to say if Bears practice got wiped out because of the rain.
Wouldn't you guys go inside? Or if they went inside, are you guys going to be allowed inside?
Yeah. Which I actually selfishly kind of like. We get a nice little vantage point on the Walter Payton
Will they be able
balcony.
to fit all 500 of you guys?
No. Which is why you got to get there early. You got to box out.
Oh, how old are you in this photo?
Yeah, there's number 17 at Medina, by the way.
OMG.
That would be the 2020. I'm sorry, the 2012 Ryder Cup.
2020.
No, that was 2012 Ryder Cup. How old would I have been? 26.
I am not going to break 100 on this
26.
course. Somebody put in the
If
chat.
you guys clear that water, I will. I don't know. Give you a pat on the back.
Lance Pace, Hot Hoge.
Yeah. Also, don't get any ideas.
That was Hot Hoge. I think you're hotter now. I think you've aged beautifully. I think you have a Clooney precision.
Well,
Okay, fine. I'm talking about myself. Go ahead.
Don't get any ideas. You too, Emma. I've already claimed the CHGO credential for the President's Cup in Medina next year. So don't get any ideas. Already done. You guys didn't even know the President's Cup was coming here next year.
Personal assistant.
I have a great picture that I'd like to put on.
No,
No,
you
we have to
don't
get
get
to a
to
break.
you don't
You
get
don't
to
get a
double up
picture.
his picture
Yeah, I
with
do.
your picture.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, we were taking the temp, courtesy of Four Seasons, and the temperature sucks. It needs to be warmer. That's the conclusion of that. Next segment. But first, More from Four Seasons, because we do love Four Seasons. We love everything about Four Seasons. They are Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. You know that. You've seen their trucks all over the highways here. And they're coming to wherever you need them to be, and they're not charging you more money. If you have any type of emergency or quick call, they're coming, and they're not charging you more. Now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out. You might not need air conditioning this summer, but you definitely will. It's going to hit hard when it gets hot. The last year was officially Chicago's hottest year on record. I'm sure this year will be up there as well. Four Seasons experts are ready to help you with AC installation, maintenance, and repair. Schedule your tune-up today. You can save $50 and enjoy a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee with your Four Seasons AC tune-up. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They do it all. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
All right. Great picture I just sent to you, Steven, which we'll get to. But first, our friends at rate.com.
Okay, McConaughey.
If you've ever tried to buy a home, get a loan, deal with the money stuff, it can be a lot. You know this, and that's why we got the Rate app for you. They like that. Rate app. Hoge. Download the Rate app right now. If you haven't done it, you're going to get pre-approved for a mortgage in minutes. Get a home equity loan or personal loan. Less than 15 days. Rate app is also going to help you find the best homeowners and auto insurance. Thank you. Whole thing's powered by AI, saving you time and money. This is the good stuff. And listen, 800 free wellness videos. You know how much they charge you on other apps for all these wellness videos? A lot. You ever done the Calm thing? Expensive.
You think Greg's ever done a wellness video?
It's time. Meditation, breathing exercises, help you sleep.
It's okay. I don't like them either.
Stretching.
But I like them now that I'm not. If you do actually download the Rate app, they're sweet.
Nutrition. All the good stuff here. So, yeah, get it done. And by the way, if you download that app, we are giving away an amazing opportunity. What are you laughing at?
Just do the read.
Download we have a ticket giveaway contest, Hoge.
Okay.
We're giving away 2 tickets to Cubs Reds. We're giving away 2 tickets in a suite to Cubs Sox on the south side. All you can eat, all you can drink. All you got to do is download that app.
Cubs Reds is in the bleachers
Cubs
for
Reds
the
bleachers.
next Friday 120 Club.
Cubs
So you get to
Sox.
hang out with a bunch of CHGO Sports peoples.
Cubs Sox Rate Suite right behind home plate. All you can eat, all you can drink. Just download the Rate app. It's right there for you.
How do they sign up for this?
By downloading the Rate app.
Okay.
And bang, bang. We also have a website, too,
That's what I was asking about.
which is allchgo.com/events, I think. Double checking.
I haven't done any wellness videos yet, but I have been listening to like thunderstorm rain as I sleep. Like
That was just
audio.
actually what was happening.
There was a
last night.
tornado.
Not like
too, yeah.
real thunderstorm, but like on the TV, like thunderstorm rain. It's that's a wellness thing in and of itself. But download the Rate app and get your wellness
Those
videos
calm
there as
noises
well.
are actually, they're pretty sweet.
Dude, it's been making me have these crazy dreams too. It's cool. Very cool. That's it. That's all I got for you. And I'm out.
All right.
Good job.
Carm will get you the landing page by 19.
Yeah, I would say this
20.
Steven's got it somewhere. I know he does.
Okay.
We'll get it in there.
All right. We got to push on here. The tush push. Tush push on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what my favorite part about the tush push is? Whenever
the
you...
tush.
well, see, here's what it has to do with the tush.
Amazing.
It does have to do with the tush.
I knew it.
Because the NFL, like the official NFL employees, every time they talk about this in their meetings or they do a press conference or a conference call about it, they call it the push play.
Okay.
Like there's obviously been a mandate that they don't call it the tush push. It's the push play.
Can't
use tush.
Can't use tush.
Too official NFL.
Okay.
It's the push play.
Push play.
Yeah.
That's what the T stood for in hits. Tush. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do.
It stood for Flus's tush. It's amazing.
just so you guys know, there's some owners meetings going on in Minneapolis the next 2 days. They're going to vote on a few things, including players being included in the 2028 Olympics, because flag football is going to be in the 2020 Olympics in Los Angeles. I've also claimed the credential on that, the Olympics. Just letting everybody know. That's a whole different subject. But if I know everybody's kind of tired of this conversation, I am too. But they are going to actually vote on the tush push, and it seems like it's going to be voted out. Now, there was an important amendment to this that is actually worth discussing, and we're going to vote on this ourselves. And our vote should count, I think.
I agree.
Green Bay is the team that originally put this proposal in, submitted the proposal to ban what the Eagles have perfected. And the Bears, you may remember, George McCaskey voted in favor of banning the tush push with Green Bay. It's a big moment in McCaskey Bears history.
Paired up.
But what's been amended since the owners' meetings back in March is, and here's a look at the actual rule proposal, 5A. They have amended this to basically, I know there's a lot on this screen, but I'm just going to sum it up for you. Go back to what the rule used to be before, like, I think it's 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So no offensive player may push or pull a runner in any direction at any time or lift him to his feet, use interlocking interference by grasping a teammate, or by using his hands or arms to encircle the body of a teammate in an effort to block an opponent, push or throw his body against a teammate to aid him in an attempt to obstruct an opponent or recover a loose ball, or assist the runner except by individually blocking opponents for him. Long way of saying no more pushing or pulling your running back or whoever's holding the ball. They are saying that this is for player safety and pace of play. So we're going back in time to an old rule. This seems to be the compromise. Instead of like making this about specifically the Eagles running this one play, we're just going to go back in time where you can no longer push or pull a runner. We are going to vote on this right now. Braggs, are you in favor
of not being allowed to do this?
It's great. Okay. Yes.
Ban the tush push or don't?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
just
you,
making sure the clarification there.
Yes or no banning the tush push? We'll
Yes,
just leave
we're
it up to
banned.
that.
No, we're not.
I'm banning it because defensive players are not allowed to assist a pass rush. Special teams, you're not allowed to push the interior of the line to try to get elevation to block the kick up the wedge up the middle. So offensive players should have to have the same rules applied to them as the defense and special teams. Now, if you want to make it allowed for everyone, then we can have a different conversation. If you're saying yes and that's allowed, then defensive players are allowed. Lance Briggs is allowed to line up behind the defensive line and push those guys forward to help get to the quarterback. And same with the special teams to block kicks. If not, then no one should be allowed. It's one or the other to me, so I'm going to ban it because I know they're not going to allow the defensive players to do it.
Carm.
So I'm banning it as well. I don't look, you got to get there on your own, in my mind. That being said, I think it's insane that the Eagles were smart enough to figure out how to do this better than anyone's ever done it. And because they got so good at it, now they're going to get penalized and take it away. That doesn't seem fair to me. However, in theory, can you get behind people and push them forward? I don't like it. So even though I actually enjoy watching the Eagles do it because they're so good at it, and the precision's amazing. But the actual premise of what they're doing, I don't like.
I mean,
so no.
I always kind of enjoyed the scrum down the field.
Yeah. See, something always felt wrong about that to me. I didn't necessarily like have any huge objection to it, but it was just like, you were basically tackled at the 8. Why we're just letting 5 offensive linemen come down?
And I guess to that point, if the defense were able to get their scrum to move it the other way, then
but they can't really.
Forward progress.
You could
is
say
stopped.
The D lineman should be.
No, but I'm saying they can't because of forward progress being stopped.
Yeah,
But this is not
exactly.
Killamaroo, which
Right.
was a great game back in the day.
This does. I am also banning it. I like the amendment they're making here. I had a problem with it before because it just seemed like they were penalizing one team that was good at something. But this, to me, does overall create a more equal playing field, offense, defense, special teams, to kind of make the rules equal across the board. So
Cheesy Gordita Crunch is calling all of us big dummies because we voted no.
okay, what about Steven?
Yeah, I would ban it as well. Jerry Azuma actually had a really good take on Bears After Dark about this last week, saying it if it was officiated better, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But the point he made, and I looked at some video on it, was actually really correct. It's not being officiated correctly because the center is actually lining up over the ball, giving himself momentum as he's snapping, and that should be a penalty on the offense every single time.
Yeah.
Not to mention, half the time you'd see the offensive line, the center, move the ball up a little bit too as he's lining up.
Why wouldn't the center just do that normally on a running play?
That's a great question.
By the way,
it should be a penalty.
Ross Tucker made a good point on Hogan Johns today, which I think is coming out a little bit later. That you can still essentially run the tush push without the push. They're not banning. You want to line up that way and have two guys in the backfield ram into the center ahead of the ball carrier to create all that momentum. You can still legally do that under this new rule. It's just you can't push the actual runner. So if that rugby movement that they've created, that they've perfected, now that seems to contradict the player safety aspect of this whole thing. But based on this rule proposal, they could still do that.
The other interesting thing here that's fun for Bears fans is Packers play the Eagles this year. If this doesn't get banned, how many times are the Eagles going to run the tush push?
Oh, yeah.
Just out of spite.
Okay, I might reverse my vote.
Yeah, right? Bears also play the Eagles.
Yeah. That's why George Frikowski wants to ban it.
I mean,
good point. Smart.
It's very hard to get out the gamesmanship in football. People are going to tug and move the ball and hold and grab everything they can grab to try to get an edge in the pile somewhere else, not getting caught. This is more like it's just so blatant that they can step in.
Well, we're unanimous on it. The next one, I think we're going to have a little bit more of a debate over.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So the playoff seeding, I am very curious to see where this goes. I'm surprised it got tabled in as much as attention as it did. Steven, can you bring up the other one that had to do with this? Here we go. So we got bylaw proposal number 4. So this was submitted by the Detroit Lions, which I'll get back to that in a second. But this essentially eliminates the idea that if you win your division, you are automatically guaranteed a first-round home game. That they are going to seed the playoffs like this. The 1 seed is a division champion with the best record. You get the bye, you're off to the next round. From that point on, the next 6 remaining spots in each conference are just decided by record, with tiebreakers being included in all this. But division champions will no longer be given an automatic home game. It's really as simple as that. What I find interesting about the Lions being the team that proposed this was they were involved in that game with the Vikings in Week 18 last year that decided the NFC North. They won it. They won it easily, and they got the bye. The Vikings were the ones that lost it, and they were the ones that kind of had the case to be like, hey, we should have been seeded way higher than we were. But I also wonder, well, I don't know. I guess I'd have to hear more from the Lions on why. Maybe they just didn't want it to come down to that game. You guys in favor of this or not?
I still want divisions to mean something, so I don't love it. I mean, I guess it might make the last week of the season more interesting. More teams having to play for something at the end, where some of the best teams that last week of the season may not rest their starters anymore.
See, I think it's going to be the opposite. Like, that game wouldn't have mattered last year. That Lions-Vikings game, that you're telling me that we would have been in a scenario where the last week of the season, they're resting starters instead of fighting for the NFC North title? I hate that.
Yeah. Trying to think how it would affect the rest of the NFC. But yeah, I still want division to mean something. So I don't like this one as much. So I'm going to say no.
Well, the last time the Bears won a playoff game, 2011, they beat the 7-9 Seahawks. Okay, 7-9 was tied with the Rams in the NFC West, and they got in because they were the division winner. If you had done the seedings back then, like they would do now, the Falcons would have been the 1 seed at 13-3, and then the 2 seed would have been. I'm not sure who won the tiebreaker, either the Bears or the Saints, both 11-5. Let's just give it to the Bears. So 2 and 3. Then you had 2 10-6s, the Packers and the Bucks, 4-5. And then you had the Eagles and the Giants, both 10-6, 6-7. So the Seahawks, the division winner, wouldn't have made the playoffs. And the Bears, instead of playing a 7-9 team, they would have played a 10-6 team.
Well, I think the division winners are still
that's what I was about to say.
To make the playoffs.
Division winner.
I think that might have been in the fine print of all that we didn't read.
So you're saying that? See, to me, it's BS. Like that year.
So you're basically saying just do away with all divisions.
Correct. 10-6 team over a 7-9 team. They deserve in 7-9. I don't care if you won the sad ass NFC West with the 7-9 Seahawks, the 7-9 Rams, 6-10 49ers, and this year 5-11 Cardinals. All y'all should be taking your ass home. These are better football teams. Sweet that the Bears got a playoff win.
Okay, so let me counter you with this, though. Credit to the Vikings for doing what they did in a very tough division. Okay. 14-3 last year was impressive.
It was?
Okay. So you want to make an argument that they should not have had to go on the road to Los Angeles, who was only 10-7. I get that argument. But on the flip side, when you get quote unquote stuck in a tough division, you should be rewarded for winning that tough division. Like, if you're in the NFC South,
okay,
you have a better chance of winning 10 games than you do in the NFC North, which is much tougher, regardless of how good your team actually is.
Right.
So by winning your division, you are guaranteed the opportunity, even if you have a worse record than another team that's piling up victories because they're in a worse division, to get a home playoff game. Because if we're making this equal, like essentially like the divisions don't matter, but we're still going to have the divisions where you're playing these tough teams twice a year, there should be a reward for winning those games. Divisional games should matter more.
Is it not enough for you that the winner of the division gets in? Like, to go back to the argument I'm making on just the 2011 version, is the NFC West a tough division? They're all under 500. Are they beating each other up? Is it tough, or are they just all bad? I mean, which one is it? Whereas the other two, I'm more with you on, like, I mean, last year's NFC North, you had lots of good teams who were beating each other up in the division and kicking everyone else's ass. I get it. Like, to me,
see, I actually think the Rams are a perfect example of this. The Rams only went 10-7 last year, but dude, the NFC West was no slouch. Like, Seattle went 10-7. Arizona was 8-9. Those are not bad teams in the NFL. And the worst team in that division was the San Francisco 49ers, who I could think we all agree were way more talented than what their 6-11 record ended up being. They had a ton of injuries.
So you're saying,
so my point is the Rams should be rewarded for winning that division, even though they were only 10-7 overall.
So you think the 10-7 Rams should be seated higher in the playoffs than the 14-3 Vikings?
No, but they should be ahead of Washington, who was 12-5, and Green Bay that it was 11-6, which they were because they won their division. That's my point. This works both ways.
Yeah,
and the games will matter more if the division's on the line late in the year.
I guess where I come out of it,
because if we just go to like a FBS or BCS, I should say, a BCS system where we're trying to just rank the teams based on how good they are instead of the actual results, like I would have gone in the playoffs last year saying that the Rams, who only had 10 wins, were better than Washington and Green Bay.
listen, I hear you, but for me, if I was doing the rules, that's fine. I would relent on you win your division, you're in, but I'd still do it by record on seeding. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, I just think the Vikings are a huge exception. And by the way, they had their chance to win the game. That game mattered a lot. They lost it. They still had the opportunity to go on the road and prove how good they were, and they lost that game because the Rams actually were better.
Oh, yeah. At the end of the season, Minnesota, well, in that example, Minnesota was great for the first 75% of the season, and then they weren't.
Just to be clear, though, Hoge, so you're saying the Rams deserve, if they win their division, to have a higher seed than the Commanders and the Packers who didn't win their division, right?
Right. So
that's what happened.
If we
correct?
go right, that's my point.
But to his point, what happens when somebody from the NFC South wins 8 games in
and
a
now
year?
You're going to see them over a team that was
right.
battling.
So in your scenario, now they've won a division, so they're ahead. Right?
I understand. Yes. So
they wouldn't be ahead of the Rams in that scenario because division winners then get, because the Rams won 10 and let's say the Bucks only won 8.
Right, but my point is it happens both ways. Like, so yes, sometimes you have
you're right. There's no perfect solution here. Overall, if it was me, I'd go.
We're gonna dilute. I'm telling you, we're gonna dilute what matters at the end of the season. If we're saying the division championships don't matter.
Right. If you're gonna,
it's gonna hurt rivalries.
If you're just gonna do it about seeding, then there should be no divisions.
Right.
Then how do you figure out who you play twice?
Well, they won't. They just play more teams once, and then the rivalries won't matter as much.
Yeah, we saw the MLB kind of switch that up. They still play their divisional opponents more, but in a 162 game season, they're not playing, like the Cubs aren't playing the Reds as much as they used to, or the Brewers or the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But I mean, I personally would still be in favor of playing your divisional opponents at least one time.
I don't want to get rid of 2 times. I wish we could go back to 5 teams in the division. Bring back the Bucks. Let's go to Carman childhood era. But also, if your division sucks, then one of you gets in, and that's it. And your seeding can be dropped to the bottom because your division was not good. But I get it. Like there's no perfect solution here, Adam Hoge.
I'll tell you what pissed me off one year was the year, it was like 2010 or something. And the Eagles went 9-7, or no, the Bears went like 9-7, and the Eagles went 8-7-1. And because they tied, they had a better percentage than the Bears, and they beat the Bears head to head. Or no, the Bears beat them head to head. I have to go back and look, but somehow the Eagles won that tiebreaker because they tied and the Bears didn't. And they had the same amount of losses and the Bears beat them, and somehow the Eagles got ahead of it. So I have to go back and look because I remember raging to my friend about this. But I have to go back because it was like 14 years ago now. Unless somebody in the chat named Gary, who I haven't seen today.
Hey, shout out to Gary. Condolences. His grandfather passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
He talked about it publicly, so I feel like I'm okay to say it. Condolences to one of their guys supporting us day in and day out, and best to his family.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're voting
keep the divisions.
Keep the divisions, Carm?
I mean, I want to keep the divisions, and I want the seeding to be...
Well, that's what we're voting on, yes.
No, then I'm not saying no. No, keep division.
Steven?
I want to keep it as is. Yeah. I like the weird quirks of it all. Makes it fun.
Same. Division's got to matter. And I don't think this is going to pass, by the way. I'll be shocked if it did. I got an idea, Minnesota. How about be more competitive in that Week 18 game against the Lions? And then show up the next week. Also, you lost to the Rams in the regular season, too. You could have won that game.
It's not about one game, though, or one season. It's about overall what makes the most sense. I hope they approach these things that way versus...
But it's not what makes the most sense because you're punishing the teams that are in the tougher division anyway.
It's not necessarily a tougher division. It could be a shitty division. And you just won it. It could absolutely go that way. By the way, become a diehard as we get to the top of the hour. Thanks to everybody watching on TV. wherever you are as we get into our overtime. The conversation continuing. Free T-shirt immediately being a diehard. You want to throw some more stuff out there, Gregory?
That's
I know
right.
you do.
At allchgo.com/diehard, you can get exclusive written content. Adam Hoge just put out his pyramid of the whole Bears roster, grading every single player, all 91 players on the roster. Hoge, has that, and that's exclusive to diehards only. Get a free T-shirt right out the gate, as Carm said, and you get it every year you renew. Another free T-shirt every year you renew, and then you also get discounts on our events, which include our Cookout Classic. Yes, I'm going golfing tomorrow without you, but you can go golfing with us on June 6th over in Glen Ellen, Village Links of Glen Ellen. 8 a.m. shotgun start. If you go to allchgo.com/events, you can see the details for that there. And then, of course, week 4, September 28th, I know somebody in the chat said they got their tickets already to Viva Las Vegas. We will be going with True Fan Travel once again. We did 2 trips last year with True Fan Travel. They are unbelievable service to make your time going on a trip like this for the Bears as good as it can get. If you go to truefantravel.com, you can get your information on how to put down your deposit. Lots of people have already signed up. It's certainly going to be a lot of fun. And there's all the information in there. You can add on your flight, some different events that we'll be doing throughout the weekend, and then the ticket is included to the game. That's one of the big ones there because it's not easy to get a ticket to Bears Raiders for a reasonable price. You can get that with True Fan Travel and everything else our trip entails.
So the golf outing, by the way, you can buy a foursome with Braggs, already sold. You can buy a foursome with Hoge, already sold.
Ooh, it's sold.
Hoge sold.
Hoge sold yesterday.
Carm still available.
Still available right here. Yeah.
Make your pitch, Carm.
I'm only minorly offended by this.
Solo shot pitch right here.
Yeah.
Listen.
Come play golf with Mark.
Listen.
Hot take. Might do a Carm.
He'll bring the Carmonica. He'll bring the Carmonica.
You want to have the best time at the golf event. You want to have.
You want to get a 2?
You want to have a birdie go in and get one of these for the whole course to hear it. We'll be there. If you want to talk about the depths of society, right here. If you want to talk about the greatest things that are ever going on in the history of the world, I got you. If you want to talk about Tyson Bagent for 4 hours straight, right here. If you want to talk about Caleb for 6 hours straight, I got you. So come on out. Let's golf. Let's have fun.
If your round takes 6 hours, God bless you.
It's I promise that my foursome will be the most fun out there.
Robert,
I demand it.
Robert Lee in the chat. Play golf with Mark. That's got to be the coldest ticket in town.
You know what would be hilarious?
Lee, I will hunt you down.
If Pizzatola bought it.
I'd love that.
And then didn't show up and he just has to golf by himself.
Dr. Truth, do you want to help out the seniors? Play with Carm. By the way, I got a new picture for you.
I didn't know we could do what the Blackhawks guys did, though.
What'd they do?
You could do a foursome with Jay and Mario.
That's cool.
Wow.
So that's available. You can also play with Sean Anderson
from CHGO White Sox.
Great time. Love that look. Sean's awesome. Don't worry. Their sales is reorganizing the office right now in the middle of our show. Lori, Chris.
Lori.
She's like carrying a tree.
Oh, they're doing a great job.
We can still see you behind that tree.
Hey, so as we do our shout outs and our stint bits, do you want to do that? We can talk about the kickoff another time.
Well, your take on the kickoff is sensible.
You can go ahead and tell your take about the kickoff because we don't want to waste that on.
We don't want to waste that.
Waste our time on another show talking about your kickoff thought.
Right. So I'll just do it because he could have already done it. That's how fast it is. No. Carm's point on the onside kick, which now last year you could only declare an onside kick in the fourth quarter.
Let Carm make Carm's brilliant point.
Because I'd like to get out of here in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, go ahead. Make my point. Go ahead. Adam Hoge speaking for me now of the CHGO Bears podcast. Yes. I will just toot away.
Yeah. Couldn't do an onside kick in the third quarter?
It's the dumbest. It's put the
Couldn't do it in
camera
the
back.
second quarter?
Put the camera back on me. It's the dumbest
no,
rule
that's not
ever.
a great.
It is the
Well,
dumbest.
I'm trying to make it sound stupid.
Well, they're up to declare the onside kick, but the only team that can declare the onside kick is the team that's trailing. You can only onside kick if you're down. If you're telling them you're doing it, why can't the team that's ahead tell them, hey, we're up 7-0. There's 3 minutes left. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes gets the ball on the 40-yard line or if he gets it on the 20-yard line. I'm onside kicking because I think I'm gonna my best chance to win this football game is to get the ball right back and then run 3 plays, make you burn your timeouts, get a first down, game over. If you want to, anybody can onside kick if you're telling them they already took away the best part of the onside kick, which is a surprise. So if you're up, why can't you onside kick? NFL, call me. I'll help you with your rules.
Actually, 1,000% agree.
That was fast.
They're voting because last year it was fourth quarter only. That didn't make sense to me. I don't understand why you couldn't do it at any point in the game. Now they're saying that still only the team trailing can do it. I'm with you.
It's just you're the overthinking.
It also probably doesn't matter at all.
Donnie
Yes.
said that was Carman sense.
It was Donnie. I love Donnie.
Should've used that on Carman sense.
Donnie, you're so good. I got so many thoughts for Carman sense. It's overflowing. By the way,
Yeah, but that's the first one that actually did make sense.
How'd the softball game go yesterday?
somebody find him.
Yeah, how did softball go yesterday?
18-3, 2-0. Great job.
18.
Did you win the first one 18-2?
Who did you get?
18-2.
Who did you sign up for this
36-5?
team?
Same.
Who's
Listen,
in this league?
That's
same,
what I'm saying.
it's the same exact team.
You got Carlos Zambrano on your team or something?
We should recruit Big Z. Look, we got the same exact team that when I started managing the team from 3 years ago. These guys are just gelling because of my tutelage. And last night I didn't even have to show up. Joey Spathis, king of the world, who a beloved figure on our CHGO softball team, came in, led the way, and we rolled. Now, we didn't play the best team in the league last night. We didn't play the best team in the league last week. Shout out the store. Shout out to my guy Kevin, rocking and rolling. Don't see him out there today because he's busy, man.
And then while we're on Carm things,
But I think our new thing though after every game, what we talked about is because Kevin's naked on his balcony, we all have to take our shirts off after every game and do the video shirtless. What do you think?
sure.
Post game shirtless.
And
That's going to make me root
while
for the
we're
other
on,
team, but yeah.
while we're on Carm topics, don't we have a picture of Carm going shopping after the game was over?
Yeah. So
What?
So I was sent to Walgreens the other day because somebody who's near and dear to me, she's rocking the Depends these days. But then I get in there and I'm trying to go self-checkout because, who knows? I could be in the market for that considering the way things are going over here.
You've been peeing your pants?
And so, it's one thing like people like dudes will complain like my wife sent me out to, get the female stuff. It's like, that's fine. It's not for you. This, I was like, dude thinks I need Depends. Just looked at me. He's like, oh, struggling, huh? It's like,
So let me get
my 99-year-old dad, he's got to be secure. So,
But why do we have a photo?
because I took a photo because I was I needed to celebrate
So
the
when
moment.
Hoge brought up the picture of him at Medina while we were talking about Medina,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, I got a great picture."
Yeah. Well, I
And
do.
And
that's
that's what it was.
what it was.
Well, I'm trying to scroll through my phone in the middle of the show, and it's just taking too long. And then I saw that one. I was like, let's just go with the Depends.
you had a
'cause I
different
figured-
picture.
Yeah, I got so much youth,
Okay.
so much love. But we'll do that another time. Hoge wins the youth picture of the day.
Oh, that's what it was going to be, a young picture of Mark. I
No,
see. 'Cause I'm
It was
confused.
just a picture of him yesterday needing Depends. So it was the exact opposite.
It was the
He
exact.
just scrambled. He couldn't find
Yeah.
the young picture of Carm, so he just scrambled
I scrambled, Greg. That's right.
and brought up a picture of you holding
All right.
some Depends.
Dare I
That's right.
ask the other nonsense that's in this rundown that never makes sense? 31 years ago today,
31 years ago today was when the great, or used to be great, I should say, Scottie Pippen dunked on Patrick Ewing in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
great moment.
Unbelievable moment. for the record, I was rooting against that team because I was trying to protect Jordan's legacy. So it was a rough year for me because the Bulls played great basketball until, of course, they didn't because MJ wasn't there.
Wait, you rooted against the Bulls when he wasn't there?
I missed him so much that I couldn't handle it. I'm to be honest. I did not want that team to win because I was worried about his legacy. And I was right because idiots like Nick Wright will say stuff like, well, how come they did great without him? I love Nick Wright. But, you know, I knew at the time that if they had won without him, it was going to be used against him, and I didn't want that.
Wow. I mean, it's
next level.
That's an admission that I don't know if I'm comfortable with.
Well, it's I shouldn't have cared.
Well,
but
it's a
if
very
I did,
it's a me guy. It's very calm, me guy.
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
But I kind of get what he's saying at the same time. I mean, I would have taken 8 championships, though. That would have been nice.
Dr. Truth, that is totally different.
What did he say?
Saying that I rooted against the Bears to get a better draft pick, which they did. That is totally different than rooting against your team to win a championship.
That's in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Like, totally different. Dr. Lies.
Listen, when Jordan...
Dr. Idiot.
Okay. What's the big game at 5?
Big game at 5 is the opening of the state playoffs. The great Grace Carman, my amazing niece, opening up the state playoffs this year, trying to win the whole damn thing. Damn it. But today's Maine West, 5 o'clock, Western Ass and Lane Tech. Come on out. I'll be rooting for them.
It sounded like you said Western Ass. I think you meant
not Western Ass.
Western and Addison.
Western and Addison, one of the great. Lane Tech's phenomenal.
All right, before we get to Supers, I blew a perfect game as a dad.
Oh, boy.
My son, I was mad at myself this morning. My son has been doing, he wanted to sign up for orchestra this year. So he's on Tuesdays and Thursdays the entire school year. He's had to go into school early.
Mm-hmm.
And that requires us to drive him there. Obviously, you can't take the bus. And since I got in the habit of taking the train down here, wants to shut down the Kennedy, I've been taking him. He has his orchestra concert tonight. For some reason, I just assumed that he didn't have practice this morning, the same day of the concert. That's at like 7 p.m. That's a really long day. So all of a sudden, it was like 7:05 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm up, like drinking my coffee, about to get in the shower. And I'm like, oh, F. Does he have to go to orchestra? And so on the last day of the entire school year, my wife had to get up and do it for me because I'm a big idiot and I had to get ready for work instead. So it's like, to me, I was in the shower mad at myself. I'm like, this is like blowing a perfect game with 2 outs in the 9th inning. We were good the whole year, the whole school year.
You choked.
And I blew it on the last one.
Yep.
So you're saying she couldn't depend on you. Get it?
Yeah.
Depends.
Speaking of depends.
Let me tell you.
Oh boy.
What happened?
You just can't help yourself. That's what it is. What happened? You just can't help yourself.
There you go. Young Carm. About to have a kitty cocktail.
In 1962. Look at those walls.
Look at that guy. That dude had such a good chance. And then he met you. Look at the velvet, man. You don't like that look?
You have a velvet quarter zip?
I'd have definitely picked on you. Look at that deer in the headlights look.
Yeah. I was. That was my first big party. So, it was a big adult night.
You also still failed at the assignment.
What's the assignment?
Find some geeky photo of you covering some event. Instead, you're like, here's a cute picture of me when I was 6.
I know. Like,
I sent Steven another one. Let's go geeky. No, it's over? Oh,
he's got to produce the Hawk Show. We got to get out of here. Super chats.
Hoge wanted to leave 8 minutes ago.
Yeah.
See, I'm here for all.
More like a year ago.
Okay.
It's like been 4 months.
It's a joke. Craig Leach, $20. Carm the cynical meatball at it again. Where's that graphic?
Leach, it's a good point. We should have that one. Let's get the cynical Carm graphic. That's fine. It's called Brilliant Carm, but it's fine.
Okay.
David's always writes $5. There's nothing crazy about the Thuney extension. Another 3-year deal, easy to get out of after 2. Same as Dahlman, Jackson Jarrett, and Odangbo.
Odangbo. You're right, David. You are absolutely correct.
It's like gonna be that. We're gonna hear that sounder every time he gets a sack this year.
What's that from?
I don't know. I was trying to think of that too.
That's it. The Simpsons. That's
Simpsons. Kind of.
Odangbo.
No, it's a little different than the Simpsons.
We should do that for Odangbo.
Motor Music Michael, $5. Put my deposit down for the Vegas trip.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What's your realistic predictions on what the narrative of the 25 Bears going into week 4 is going to be?
Can they get to 4-0?
Can they win their 3rd game of the season?
Yeah, I think they could be 2-1 there. Chubbs.
The narrative of the 25 Bears going into week 4 is, will Greg have pants on?
The look Amanda just gave you when
I
you said that.
I really look forward to getting on the next plane trip with you. Last time you were...
I've already booked my own flight, and I'm not telling you guys what it is.
Did you get that approved by upper management?
No, I just did it. I'm like, I'm going to eat this.
Great move.
Just to avoid Greg walking on a plane and announcing to the whole plane that I'm there.
Aw. That was fun, though.
It was funny.
Last time you walked on a plane, you assaulted me and threw my phone on the ground because I was videoing you. But
That was like 3 flights ago. The last flight we did was, I can't remember anymore.
I was assaulted.
You should have had him thrown off the plane.
I should have. That would have been great.
Chubbs, 82, $2. Winning the division should matter. Absolutely, it should matter. Another 5 from Chubbs. A couple of years ago, the Bucs were in a supposedly worse division, then beat the Eagles by 30, who had the better record. Okay.
Exactly. It can go both ways. But what's your main principle, Chubbs? The principle of Chubbs. POC.
Another acronym.
Stick to something.
Craig, $20. I can feel your energy, Greg.
I guess, I don't know what it is. Maybe I've had bad energy today. People have been saying that in the chat.
I don't
know. It's gloomy outside. Maybe that's the energy.
Could be the zero sugar hydro nana that you got going on over
Could
there.
be that. Could
He's
be
another
this
stick of
gum
gum.
on top of my cap.
If you put that back in
I've
your
been-
mouth, I'm
Put the
leaving.
gum. Put the gum in your
I
mouth
don't.
and the cap.
Don't.
What? What's
This is a
wrong with
professional
that?
show. This is a professional.
What's wrong with that?
All right. I can't. I'm going to throw up. $5.
Why?
Chubbs.
It's my gum.
Carm had to take that picture to Target to get color inserted. They only had black and white back in those days.
Good one, Chubby.
And then Shane's going week 1 pregame show, $2. Who do you guys got scoring the first Bears TD?
The first Bears TD? Monday night.
Rome
I was going to
Odunze.
say Rome. I was going to say Rome, too.
Well, you meet.
What were you going to say, Adam? Because if it was Rome as well, then that's going to happen.
Luther Burden.
I know we said we weren't going to do any more Carm pictures, but this one does need an explanation that he sent me.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Now that is the picture. Does that qualify?
I actually remember when you did that.
What are you wearing?
I don't think I knew what you were wearing, though.
You look like you're on a dance team.
I was.
This is when we were at WGN.
It was. They had a dance competition,
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, and they offered free lessons, and they asked if anybody would do it, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. And so then I went out there and to like Burr Ridge, I think it was, at one of those dance places, and then I tried to learn how to dance. And let me tell you something. I wasn't great.
No way.
And the instructor was not easy to focus because she was great in all regards. And then what did I dance to, by the way? Because I know you guys want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I danced to "I Can Make Your Hands Clap," and it was a great, and I had it, and it was ready, and then you had to perform the whole thing, and then in the middle of it, I blew it. I lost the steps, and it was I did not win the contest. Hands clap.
I've done 2 very different shows today, Steven. I did a solo show with Ross Tucker, and then I did this with Bubblegum Brags and Ballet Bobblehead Carm.
I can make
which,
your
yes,
hands
I just
clap.
stole from your boy Boogie in the comments. That was a good comment.
I think I can find the video of it somewhere,
Oh
and
my God.
if we can, I'll bring it tomorrow.
And yes, I egg this on. I actually enjoy it.
Well, it was on. I had
You
it.
guys
on-
did a professional show earlier today, and I wasn't on that one, so maybe I'm the problem.
That's true. We did a very
Great song,
professional
by the
show.
way.
I've always said you're the instigator.
It's 37% true.
Yeah,
It's a fair
Well, people
percentage.
do need to know that
It's a fair-
Hoge likes to do his Hoge,
Yeah.
zing daddies to get the thing
He
moving.
starts the fire
And then he-
between
then
the
he get-
two of
and
us,
then-
and
and
then
then-
he puts his
and-
hand up. He sets the house on fire, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "What have you guys done?"
I get the matches out, but I just leave them over for you two to play
Yeah.
with.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
I don't actually light it.
It's like a kid.
Yeah, sometimes you do.
You give the kid the
Okay.
car keys, and then all of a sudden he's driving the car, and you're like, "What? Well, I didn't say he could drive."
That's actually all fair. Chubbs, I thought you looked really pretty, Carmen.
Thank you, Chubby. Thank you, buddy.
It's an all-time photo. If you're listening to the podcast, I don't know. We check out YouTube. Also, please hit the like button for that photo and hit subscribe. We appreciate you.
I mean, between
I'll
that
find the
picture
video.
and the hit the like button, Carm, there was like a period in his life where he was about to become Chris Angel.
The
Jetsons. Is that what it is?
Like you look like
No,
a
that's the
magician there.
Papa Hoge says
he's
it's the
George
Jetsons.
Jetson.
I don't know.
Oh, Papa Hoge. Hey, Papa Hoge. That's the Jetsons was my childhood. I appreciate you bringing that in. You don't
was-
even remember Elroy. You're not a big Elroy guy.
Not. What I am is a big OTA guy. We determined that earlier in
yeah.
the show.
4 o'clock tomorrow, huh?
We'll be out there tomorrow. Special 4 p.m. show tomorrow. We will not be live at noon because the Bears are practicing at noon. So we will be at that practice. We will recap it all for you afterward. We may or may not check in with the golf lunatics who are going to Medina without us.
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting.
Happy
for
birthday
sure.
to Steven.
Happy birthday to you.
Hanska Leba. Hanska Steven.
Happy
Guys, literally
birthday.
holding our harmonica. and not
Happy
using it.
birthday, triple
point.
bogey.
Talk to you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.